Welcome, CAD community. This is Nishita Kandikuppa, and I'm a fourth year city and regional planning major at Cal Poly. I'd like to introduce my guest, Kyle Bell. He is the associate planner at the city of San Luis Obispo. Kyle, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so actually I was born and raised in Napomo, California. So this is my hometown community here in San Luis Obispo. I started off going to Cuesta College for community college in architecture. I then transferred into city regional planning into Cal Poly, and I graduated in 2014. And I've been working for the city of San Luis Obispo since.
And what kind of projects do you do at the city of San Luis Obispo?
So I work in current development or development review is what we call it, and that encompasses a lot of different things. We review anything from a new business that's coming to town or relocation of a business to new development. So we do new single family homes, we do new commercial developments, we do new mixed use developments, we work on a whole range of projects. As I'm sure many of you know, there's a lot of construction going around throughout the community. So we have a lot of work that we're doing.
Tell us a little bit about your career path and how you ended up in your current role.
So actually, I was drawn to architecture since I was, I think, in fourth grade or something like that. When I was a kid, I was, I remember designing all kinds of different houses and different projects as a hobby. And then when I went to Cuesta College, it was right around the time of the recession in 2008. So we went through the housing crisis. And so through that process, I kind of reevaluated my dreams. I knew I wanted to be around the built environment, and when I was introduced to city planning, I became enthralled by the idea of being involved with architecture throughout a community rather than just an individual project. And so I was instantly drawn to it, and when I got into Cal Poly, I hit the ground running and never looked back. My final year at Cal Poly, I started an internship with the city. Within 9 months, which was 6 months before graduation, I got promoted to a planning technician. So I already had a full-time job before I was even able to graduate.
How has this year specifically impacted project work, project load, just like progress that's been for any projects that came in like the beginning of this year? How has it affected all of that?
Yeah, surprisingly, we haven't seen any slowdown during the current shutdowns. We've seen actually an uptick in people wanting to invest and develop their projects, because I believe kind of the vision right now is that that while money is available, that they want to invest it and get it grounded. So I think that's why people haven't slowed down and actually have probably kicked up their goals for development. So we've definitely been overburdened since we were also part of the EOC, which is the Emergency Operations Center. So half our staff at times were going back and forth between our typical jobs as well as emergency relief. And so we all kind of had to split responsibilities during the initial shutdowns to take responsibility and communicate to the public what was going on.
Were there any classes in Cal Poly? They don't have to be city planning classes or within the CAD department, but any classes that you've taken at Cal Poly that really helped you kind of become who you are or has helped you professionally?
Yeah, probably emphasize interdisciplinary classes. I had an opportunity to work with architecture engineers, architects, landscape architects, and even construction management students, where we've done a whole number of different projects together. One of my favorite ones was it was a design competition where we actually got together through these classes and entered a competition in Los Angeles for under Gensler, which is a big architecture firm in the LA area. And we entered a design competition for a living building. And so we were tasked with designing a living building within a certain area of Los Angeles. And we competed with all universities throughout the Southern California. And we ended up taking first place through our design. And I was the only city planning student who had entered the competition. And it was pretty unique that we specified our project based off of a specific plan, because I was familiar with the plan, and we were able to design a project that actually fit within the context of the community, not just as a living building, but part of its environment. And so I think that took the cake with the judges. And not that I communicated a whole lot to the actual aspects of the living building itself, but that's what we have the architects for and engineers. But it was really good to understand that we all work together. This is a team effort. And it's not just ourselves. It's other experts that we bring to the table that actually can benefit a project or ourselves.
I've been considering jobs elsewhere. Like I've been interning in the Bay for the past 2 years, and I know Oakland really well, and I know San Francisco really well, and San Jose really well. And obviously, I live somewhere in these areas, so like I know just the community and the people who live there. Um, but for me to kind of move away from all that and go plan somewhere else, like I don't know, in Baltimore or something,
Mhm.
it's completely strange to me. Like I don't know anything there. I've never even been to Baltimore. um so that's something that I've been asking a lot of people recently, like how does that even work? Like how would you just move to a community and start like implementing change there when you don't even know how the things work? But I think I've recently learned that I think taking inspiration from cities is actually really important.
Mm.
And as a planner, it's important for you to travel. It's important for you to learn from new experiences and learn from new people. And kind of, even if you don't stay there long term, like kind of bring it back to your own community and implement it there or try implementing it there. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. One of the best things we can do, just in life in general, is to travel, experience cultures ourselves, go see what it's like on the ground somewhere that's different, somewhere
Mhm.
that stretches you. I had the opportunity last year to travel to Tallinn in Estonia and just see what that community is like. I've never even heard of that place before, but I managed to just go and learn. And I got to go to Finland in Helsinki and learn about that as well. And it was a rewarding experience to just experience to see how other cultures and other communities develop and what their priorities are. America is kind of unique. That's in relation to the rest of the world, that we are not so community driven as other countries. Other countries prioritize public spaces a lot more than roads, and so it's kind of the opposite here. Is that we think so much about getting one place to the other that we don't think about how to spend time and be in the present. And so by traveling and seeing these places, you kind of get different perspectives about what's important. But there's a lot to experience in other cities. And if you were to take a job in a place that you don't know, it's okay. It's okay that you're going to ask more questions. It's okay that you're going to have to refamiliarize yourself with rules, regulations, and culture. And it's part of the fun to gain those new experiences and start your own community from scratch. And so think of it as an opportunity and not so much a constraint of being placed in a new atmosphere.
Do you have any advice for people who are graduating this year and getting into their jobs or going to grad school? Basically, me, because that's going to be me.
This is a difficult time, and it's not a permanent time. So I know as difficult as it is right now to find a job or secure a job, and all that uncertainty that comes with this year. I understand, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a challenge, but it's not permanent. We will move on. We will get through this, and there will be growth from it. We didn't stay stagnant back in 1918 during the Spanish flu, and we grew since then. So there will be growth that will occur after this as well. It might take a little time that we weren't hoping for, but I'm an optimist, and I believe that there's opportunities ahead. So don't lose hope. Be persistent. Be aggressive, and be confident. To make sure that you push yourself towards something that you want to do, that you care about, because that's what's most meaningful in life, is something that expresses you and that you get to participate in, less so than just a job. However, that job does really help you get ahead as well. So it's okay to settle as well. Just make sure that you identify your passions and dreams, and then work towards those down the line. Don't give up. I understand that many people will have to get by, but don't lose hope.
Thank you, Kyle. It was great talking to you today. And thank you for all the great advice. I think it's something that not just this year, but every student needs to hear about, like traveling, about learning new cultures and trying new things and really putting yourself out there.